laps and the safety car period and restart, Riquelme has had to hold off the advances of Sergio Canamassas, and then with 3 or 4 laps remaining in this race, that's when Riquelme turned it on. That's when he put his foot down and stretched out this lead, which now stands at just over 2 seconds. He has done everything right so far today, has Riquelme. I take my hat off to Canamassas. This will be, if he makes the flag, and I don't want to curse him, really a breakthrough weekend for him. Having done such a great race yesterday, now staring at a podium. And a great weekend all round for Trident, but for Dams as well, Luca. It looks like they're going to record back-to-back victories on the Friday and the Saturday here in Monaco.
You can't ask for more in Monaco. 2 wins for the Dams team. That's amazing.
Absolutely incredible. Riquelme then around the final corner. Last year on Saturday, Monaco had a GP2 winner. This year they'll have a GP2 winner. Stefan Riquelme wins at home. Canamassas comes home second. Rio Haryanto is going to come home to record his first podium of the year, his first GP2 podium. And Cecotto still somehow holding off Arthur Peak. So slow now. Johnny Cecotto comes home 4th. Peak will be 5th. Evans will be 6th. Palmer 7th. Quaife Hobbs 8th for the final point, with Coletti 9th. And Connor Daly 10th. And absolute joy for Dams. A win yesterday for Palmer, a win today for Riquelme in his radio.
Oh, come on! Just fantastic. Fantastic job. What a good go, guys. Thanks.
And a very happy guy. Luca, when you won at Monza, it was one of the most emotional commentaries I've ever done. I remember how emotional you were on the podium. What does it mean to win at home?
Oh yeah, it's you know what, the thing is, happiness is expectation against what you get. So at home you have the highest expectation possible, which is to win, and if you get it, then it's real happiness. That's amazing.
Must be an incredible feeling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does anything come close?
Oh yes, but the thing is, being an athlete and having such a big emotion, then makes tough life to bring such a high emotion. But I'm a lucky guy, I have a nice girlfriend, and I can't complain.
Riquelme will be beaming. This will be one of the greatest days of his life so far. To win here at home. Grand Prix weekend, the streets of Monte Carlo, the streets where he grew up. Canamassas with a fantastic podium as well.
Sergio, bravissimo, well done, bravo Sergio, congratulations, well done. Very good guys, very good.
He'll be happy.
That was Giacomo Ricci on the radio. Very happy for him.
Beautiful stuff. A great weekend. You know, a great weekend for Dams. Hey, I tell you, Riquelme wants to jump out of that seat and he hasn't even come to a standstill yet. Unbelievable weekend for Dams. 2 wins. A great weekend for Trident. Standout performances from both Cecotto and Canamassas. And what about Haryanto as well? Finally turning around the form for Caterham and getting himself on the podium. But this man, Riquelme, finally the win arrives in GP2, and where else would it be but here at home? And he didn't have it easy.
No, not at all. But you know, starting from the pole, half of the job is done. Then the rest is between the start. But he also managed very well and well deserved.
And had to withstand huge pressure from Canamassas. Huge pressure, and it wasn't like for just 1 lap. 25, 26 laps he withstood that pressure, with never really more than half a second.
Yes, and honestly speaking, Canamassas is one of those guys that it's tough to have behind, because it's a little unpredictable, and you have to watch out and look at the mirrors and in the past sometimes it's been a bit rough, so being at the front, that means you have to really manage.
Joy once again for Dams. What a season this is turning out to be for them. Really happy for Stefan Riquelme. He had a real turnaround last year. As we were saying, you know, in the old days when he'd start the race from reverse grid pole, he'd be 4th or 5th by the end of the 1st or 2nd lap, because people knew they could just barge their way past him, and he'd give the position up. And then something seemed to click around Silverstone time last year, and suddenly he was fighting and he was holding position and defending, and he became almost a different driver. And I think we've seen that, not just in the latter half of this year, but certainly the start of this year. Coming into this weekend, we said he had to turn the corner in terms of his competitiveness to his teammate Jolyon Palmer. What a way to do it. Palmer wins yesterday, Riquelme wins today.
That's the best podium of the season. To be on this podium is amazing.
Canamassas, a wonderful podium for him. Of course, the jokes were made when Cecotto and Canamassas were announced together in the team, but they've proved everybody wrong so far. And Rio Haryanto, finally that GP2 podium, finally for Caterham here this year after showing so much promise over the winter in testing. But now, the anthem for Monaco. Riquelme wins at home. That is a happy, happy man. Luca, it's been a great weekend of racing here in GP2, hasn't it? Two very interesting races. Okay, it's always difficult in Monaco. It's not like a Spa or a Monza. It's very, very different and difficult for the drivers.
Yeah, it is, but it's nice because everybody is excited. There is a lot of expectation from this weekend, and finally the
race.
Even if it was struggling, the surprise of the weekend is Canamassas.
I think I will agree with you on that. It's been a dominant weekend for Dams, a brilliant race weekend for both Jolyon Palmer and, of course, for this guy, Stefan Riquelme. Peter Windsor will have the interviews, but for myself, Will Buxton, from Luca Filippi, it's been an absolute pleasure. Here, though, will be your top 3 drivers from Monaco, and Stefan Riquelme, finally a race winner here at home, and I'm sure he will be absolutely overjoyed.
Watch all 6 Sky Sports channels.